Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Mecha BREAK video. Today in this video we're going to be talking about the most recent dev live stream that is going to be coming up with a hot fix in July 28th, which is less than 1 week away. Now in this live stream they talked about a lot of things, and I will leave a link in the description if you guys want to see it. But in the live stream they talked about all the buffs and nerfs that are coming to the strikers. Now, a lot of these are huge game-changing ones. Will definitely change a lot of people's opinions, and I think it would definitely shift the meta a little bit as well. Now, the first thing they went ahead and talked about is Falcon. Now, Falcon is getting a better quality of life change specifically. Now, I know a lot of people might not like a Falcon because it might be annoying, but I think it's very important that the Recon Kit will now be toggled on and off if you need to use it, which just gives the Falcon player better control, because once you use it, once you start using it, then you have to wait until it's all the way done. Then you have a 30-second cooldown on there. Now, I personally liked it as a Stellaris main, but now Falcon players get to use their Recon. If you destroy a target sooner, you'll be able to toggle it off and save on that cooldown and be able to use it when you want to use it. So I think that's a really great quality of life change for a Falcon. Now, they mentioned that a lot of people felt that the missiles doesn't do a lot of damage. They felt like they didn't do a lot of damage. Now, one of the things is that they were able to not just straight up give the missiles more missiles or more damage. They noticed that there are a lot of targets, strikers specifically, that can actually counter the missiles and make it feel like it's not doing enough. There are great examples where Tricera and Stego being able to have anti-missiles to be able to block all the missiles, and we did do some testing on it, and it pretty much was a negate of attack. So if you activate your ability with a Tricera, you pretty much ate up all of the missiles that they shot out. So what they are doing, they're going to be adjusting those specific anti-missile drones and being able to slow the rate of fire so that you're able to still possibly get some hits in, which was really nice, because again, knowing that they're not just going to give it some damage or just give it more missiles, being able to really get to the core of the problem and notice that this is what's actually stopping Falcon from doing a little bit more damage is really nice. So we have some big, huge nerfs coming to both Tricera, Stego, and even the big boy himself, Welkin. Now, Tricera specifically would now have a longer cooldown when it has a complex shield completely depleted. It would be like 4.5 seconds before it can start regenning. So once you break that and you get that shield to be depleted, you have a really long cooldown. On top of that, all the anti-missiles that Tricera has a slower rate of fire, so you won't be able to hit and destroy every single one of them. So some missiles will still hit you if you are in a 1v1 situation. So you won't be able to defeat them all, so you still will be hit. So you have to be careful. On top of that, to be able to get the anti-drone missiles to replenish or reload, you have to be out of your turret or fortress mode. So if you want to, you can't just sit somewhere now with the fortress mode and have the anti-drone pop up. You actually have to be de-transformed and be able to move around and get a different location, get that replenishment, and then get back into fortress mode. Now, Stego specifically, they're reducing the haze that he could do in the smoke up to 3 seconds, and it would have a total of 30 seconds cooldown. So it will be less, that it will be hidden from everyone in their smoke, but it also has a really long cooldown now. So they have to be a little bit more smart when using their smoke, and it won't be in there for too long. So they have to make sure that they can escape and get to a better place so that they can either hide or a better location to do some damage. Now, both Tricera and Stego will have their rotation speed adjusted, so it won't be able to quickly spin around and get a target and follow a target a little bit. It won't be able to follow a target quickly. What that allows players like Falcon and Skyraider and even other people, when it tries to turn around, it won't be able to be as fast as they are, so it will be a little bit slow, so they do have to adjust themselves. Now, we did notice that Tricera and Stego are on that list, even with Welkin obviously too. We saw the CN contest and tournament, and we did see that all three of those were the most used mechs, especially Welkin and Stego, but all of them are getting adjusted, and they see that they're being overused, and they're very powerful. Now, Welkin, I think personally, is probably the thorn of everyone. When you see a Welkin on the enemy's team and you don't have a Welkin of your own on your team, it's a lot of time it feels like it's going to be a GG's and they're going to win, because how powerful Welkin is, the shields that it has, the weight, how much damage it can do, how much damage it can also take away with all the shields that it has. But now they are adjusting it. So now the frontal shield now, instead of having 12 seconds to have it up, it would only have it up for 8 seconds. On top of that, the damage that Welkin would do on the second attack and the third attack of the swing would also be less as well. And the most important thing that I see almost every Welkin do, the spinning combo. Now, when you spin, you will consume a lot more energy than you did before. So you just can't spin constantly and waste all your energy. You have to be a little bit more smart about it. You could use your box to protect you a little bit if you need to get your energy back up, but you have to be careful when using your spin. Now, you can't just spin however you want. Other big changes that are happening are Narukami and Hurricane. Both of them are being buffed dramatically. For Narukami specifically, the Decoy drone, now you're going from 100 meters to 160 meters, almost double the range of that. So you'll be able to get to one drone to the other, and you have a wide range of camo. On top of that, the energy has been increased, so you'll be able to move around and travel a lot further, which is really nice. Really great quality of life change when it comes to Narukami. Nothing when it comes to damage specifically, just more of being able to move around freely, to be able to have a little bit more energy, and also have a way to shield yourself and be invisible if you needed to, which is what you're most likely going to be doing with that kit. Now, Hurricane specifically has had a lot of changes to their kit. When it comes to Hurricane, their main damage charge attack would also do a lot more damage now, and it would be a really good pick against stationary targets like a Tricera and Stego. Also, what they have done differently was a great quality of life change for Hurricane that I'm curious to see, because I am a melee player. Now when you get attacked, it would automatically deploy a shield, and then that shield, it would stagger and mess up your opponent if they are using the melees. That gives you a time as a Hurricane player to readjust if you need to escape, or if you wanted to engage in a fight, you'd be able to do that. And I think it's really great that they're noticing those two strikers that haven't been played as much now being able to have better quality of life change, doing more damage, being able to live a lot longer, and being able to have enough energy to move around. Another striker that they talked about is Skyraider. Skyraider is going to have a little bit more damage on the right click specifically. That little the rocket missile will be doing a lot more damage now. So stationary targets like Tricera and Stego, if they don't move, they're going to be taking an absorbent amount of damage, so they need to get out of that location. But on top of that, because Skyraider has anti-missile drones, those are also going to play a factor. Just like Tricera, it won't be able to deflect all of the missiles, so there will be a nerf to that. And just like Tricera, you would have to be out of your special transformation mode to be able to replenish. So if you want to replenish your anti-missiles, you're going to have to not fly all the time, which kind of goes against the kit a little bit, I personally feel, because you always want to fly. But if you want to, you're going to have to learn how to de-transform, hide for a second, and then get back into the fight. Another thing that they mentioned that they're going to be adjusting is the Haze duration of the kit to disorient that blue smoke that it pops out. It seems to be a little bit longer. They want it to go, I think, from 6 seconds down to 4 seconds, so it's a little less time to be out in the field. So they have made that change to Skyraider as well. Now, one huge change is happening to Aquilla. Aquilla, specifically, they mentioned how it's very overpowered in Mashmuck specifically. Now, I'm curious to see how this will play into obviously Operation Verge and Ace Arena, because you are supposed to balance out your energy and your special hover bar as well. But now you're going to be consuming about 50% more energy when using any sort of energy. So if you use your hover kit, you're going to be, as you sprint, you're going to use 50% more. As you're just hovering, you're using 50% more. So it's going to really eat into that. So what they're trying to do, from what Chris said, is they're trying to make it where if you really want to get a target, you have to choose now between either keeping yourself up and getting that target and having no energy or barely any energy, or fast landing and getting your energy back up. So it's gonna make Aquila's not be able to pretty much stay up in the air for the whole entire match, which has happened a lot of times. People have been really great with their energy consumption and been able to actually keep themselves up. Pretty much the majority of the match, they've been able to keep themselves up because how great their energy consumption is, and being able to toggle back and forth. So that is for that change. They're also changing Panaka a little bit to have a better, wider lock-on range when it comes to attacking and also healing, being close to your teammate. Another really great change is a target that I'm actually thinking about trying a little bit more after playtesting for our Counter Striker series is Infernal. Infernal is being buffed. Infernal is one of those strikers that I don't see that often, and they mentioned that Infernal is really powerful when you have a team that works with an Infernal and works together, which I can only imagine. Now they're going to be changing Infernal's jump height so it can jump higher. They're also going to be changing the boost speed as it moves around. When you toggle your booster kit, you're going to be able to invade further as well, which I think is super duper solid, and also have better energy consumption as well. So there's a lot of things that's going on with Inferno to give it a better quality of life change, and I think this might be one that I might be looking into to see, like I said, about trying out Inferno, because I had a really fun time when I was playing with Inferno. So I'm curious to see what we can do with Inferno. Now, the last one that they talked about that they're changing is Serenith. Now, Serenith, I think a lot of people have mentioned either is really great or it is completely trash, and I personally think that Serenith was really great. There are some really great Serenith players that when we were playing that they can get around quickly, they can do great damage, they know how to use their orbital, but in this case they saw that Serenith is not being played as much, so they wanted to give Serenith some better quality of life change. Now what it's going to do now is the grapple is also going to have a slight stun to it. A slight stagger is going to happen to it. Now, I thought it was very interesting because they're stopping even melee players from, like, as they try to attack. You still might be hit by a melee, but you're going to have a quick stun so you can try to move away if you need to. I thought it was very interesting to give Serenith a stun, which I kind of wanted that before, so it's great to see that they're giving them a stun mechanic when you hit the grapple. And I think one of the craziest thing that they're doing is the debuff now is going to be 6 seconds when you activate it. So when you are being targeted, let's just they use Stellaris as an example. When they get targeted by a grapple hook, you can pop that ability to remove all debuffs, and that will give you about 6 seconds of immunity, so you can't be stunned or anything, which I think is really, really strong. So I'm curious to see how Serenith players will react to that. Probably gives me a chance to that will probably give me a chance to actually play sometime soon Serenith, because we do have it, and I'm curious to try that mech out. Now, another thing that they ended up saying was the orbital strike damage buff would also be a lot more as well. So it would be doing a lot more damage than it did before. So again, this is a really great striker that I personally think that was really great against Tricera, Stego, really great against maybe even some Welkin players because they would be on the objective point. I think overall Serenith is probably going to be in a really good spot for sure, and I think this is going to change up with all this happening. This is definitely going to change up the meta. I'm curious to see what everyone else thinks. Please leave a comment down below. What do you guys personally think about the buffs and nerfs that are happening? Some of them are definitely warranted, but some of them I'm curious to see what the quality of life change will be for those specific strikers. But that is pretty much it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.